Hello, everyone. I'm Krasi, and this will be my prognosis for the month of January of 2023. And we'll be looking at the 12 ascendants from both perspectives, sidereal and tropical. Of course, if you don't know your time of birth, you can use the moon. So we'll be looking then also at the moon sign as usual, as we do every month. So before we look at every ascendant, just briefly to tell you which are the most important changes happening on the sky in the month of January. Such a very important transit is taking place that it will be determining our future for the next 3 years. Because if you remember, end of January of 2020, Saturn entered sidereal Capricorn, and he will leave Capricorn, sidereal, I'm telling you, on the 23rd of January of 2023, and then he will be staying 3 years in Aquarius. This is major change of the energies as we know them. And you remember, I don't even need to tell you what changes Saturn brought to us from end of January of 2020 until now. So yes, the most important transit for us is happening on the 23rd of January. I will briefly explain what it is, of course, but we'll be mentioning this in many videos in the future because Saturn in Aquarius will be the main player, of course. Of course, when Saturn enters Aquarius, obviously, especially according to the ancient tradition, he is ruling Aquarius. Yes, you will say Uranus is ruling Aquarius. This is true, but the ancients would not consider the presence of Uranus. So Saturn will be also very powerful in Aquarius, and people who have well-placed Saturn in their horoscopes, then they will really have very beneficial transit of Saturn for the next 3 years. If you don't have well-placed Saturn in your horoscope, then you may face more challenges, and then he will be teaching you, us, of course, the lessons of patience, time orientation, self-discipline, and these are the remedies for having more harmonious transit of Saturn for the next 3 years. So yes, the most important date I personally consider in January will be the 23rd of January for the fact that I just mentioned to you. Then we have important transit, important change. It is actually on the 12th of January, Mars is turning direct. This is important because he's a bit more difficult when he's retrograde. Now Mars direct, but what are the details around his direct motion? First of all, Mars is until 17th of March, Mars is in sidereal Taurus. Of course, traditionally, this position of Mars is considered to be fallen. So Mars in Taurus in his fallen position. To tell you, yes, indeed, classically, it is fallen because Mars is against his sign which he's ruling, which is Scorpio. But my personal take on this is that actually Mars in Taurus is not so bad because this energy of Mars is more controlled. And look logically how you can maybe reason with me. The main remedy for treating hard influence of Mars in astrology is through the lessons of love. And this is love is represented by Venus. Mars in Taurus is the kingdom of Taurus is the kingdom of Venus. You all know that. Mars in Taurus is more controlled energy through love. This is really more controlled. Mars in Taurus is really not that unhappy. He's a bit more controlled and maybe even maybe calmer. You see how he's influencing the war-like situation in the world. Really, you don't see the typical classical war with the full meaning of it, because Mars in Taurus has this energy. Now, he will be retrograde only until the 12th, and then he will be direct from 12th of January until 17th of March, and then he's leaving Taurus to enter Gemini. Now, yes, he remains in Taurus, and of course, also for the month of January, people who are ruled by Mars. This can mean many things. Mars be on your ascendant. Mars to be your ommutant, meaning the planet which rules you the most, which has the most powerful presence in your horoscope. This is the ommutant. Or if you have, let's say, Aries ascendant, or if you have Scorpio ascendant, or if you have Mars in a specific heliacal phase, this all says that in a way you are ruled by Mars. Of course, this will mean that every single change in the phases or in the aspects of Mars will be influencing you, certainly. So yes, this will also have impact on you. In what way? Well, not much. But since he's becoming direct and he's then perceived to be faster in motion, many things which are related to ambition, achieving things may be fastened a little bit. Also, in the warlike situation, I see the situation more like still controlled energy through the energy of Venus, of Taurus, but still you would see things more like more in a more clear way, like more like resolving. But this is certainly not the end of the war. But this is the situation will remain as not typical war-like situation due to Mars, the presence of Mars in Taurus, and the trine which Mars will be receiving for quite some time still of Venus, because Venus is trining Mars, and this is also very powerful, because then the war will not go extreme, because of the trine. But still, when he becomes direct, also in our lives, things will start moving a little bit faster. He will be giving more energies, like more active, will make us more active, will make us more driven towards some things that we want to achieve. This is valid, like I said, for people who are ruled by Mars, who have very powerful Mars, who have Taurus ascendant, who have Scorpio ascendant, or even them on the mid-heavens. Then also another aspect we have, which is that Mercury is becoming direct a week after Mars becomes direct, I think around 18th or 19th. Mercury is becoming direct in his fallen again position in Sagittarius. I will not give much attention on this because this has been overly kind of discussed, and actually Mercury is such a fast planet that we see him invisible, direct, retrograde all the time. Of course, he's related to communication. Of course, he's related to knowledge and travel, certainly. But I would rather look at him when he's really powerful, which would say when he's becoming visible on the sky. This is a more rare situation, or when he's exalted or in his sign and so forth. So this is nothing really, you will not really feel. You will see that on the 18th or 19th, when Mercury becomes direct, you will not feel any change. You will feel change, though, when he becomes visible, which is not happening in January. So this is briefly about the main aspects which are taking place in aspects note, but planetary positions which are taking place in January. And now we'll be looking at the 12 ascendants from both, like I mentioned to you, sidereal, but also tropical perspective. Now, We are starting as usual, of course, with Aries, and actually I'm talking about sidereal Aries, or moon in sidereal Aries, or it will be the same for the tropical astrology, but then it will be Taurus. So if you prefer the tropical system, then we're talking about Taurus. So if you have sidereal ascendant Aries, these changes which I just mentioned are important for you, because you are actually ruled by Mars very much, because Mars is ruling your ascendant. So from the 12th on, Mars becomes direct for you, especially in your second house in Taurus. This can make you more driven to finances, to family roots, family in a way. And this can give you more energy, more straightforward energy in making money, in doing your business, you know. So this Mars becoming direct in your horoscope is not bad, because in this very same moment from your 10th house, Venus and Saturn will be creating harmonious aspect to Mars. This can make you very practical in business, in making money. And Venus is very helpful, because if she is not without powers in Capricorn on your 10th house, because there she will be actually bringing peace in your career place when you communicate with superiors. So this will be fine. Also, Venus will be sextiling Jupiter on your 12th house. This is fine for your health. This is fine for you, like winning over enemies. So in this sense, this is very fine. On 6th, 7th, actually, January, the full moon is taking place for you on the axis of your 3rd and 9th houses, great for knowledge, for spiritual work. So the next 15 days, starting from 6th, 7th of January, will be determined by knowledge, desire to travel, communication. So all this is fine. Of course, with your ascendant ruler in the 2nd house, you have to be quite precise and careful when you make financial decisions. It's like you have to be quite analytical and careful. And yeah, this is the main thing for the month of January. No eclipses are happening, but in the 2023, the 4 eclipses which will be taking place will be happening on your ascendant, descendant. So this will be still important times for you, which will bring you important changes, but this is further. And now we're looking at the horoscopes of people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Gemini. So this for you, this is important timing, especially actually already for quite some time. You do have Mars on your ascendant. He is 8 months on your ascendant until the 17th of March. Quite interesting transit, actually. This maybe brought you some dose of disharmony, especially when it comes to romantic life, how you personally feel, you know, maybe some discomfort you felt. Maybe you felt that you may need to be a little bit more patient, cautious, loving if you want with partner. Also a little bit more careful when you negotiate, when you make financial decisions, when you communicate with people, this also a little bit. But in the meantime, until 19th of April, Jupiter is making harmonious aspect to your ascendant. Even Saturn and Venus will be making in January harmonious aspect to your ascendant. So actually you're fine. January will be interesting month. And after Mars, especially 7 days before or 7 days after Mars becomes direct, you have to be a little bit more patient, more diplomatic, especially when it comes to your romantic life. But in general, the good aspect of Jupiter matters. The good aspect of Venus, Saturn matter. So this is very good for you. And the full moon is happening for you on 6th, 7th of January on the axis of 2nd, 8th houses. This is importance of finances for you, importance of occult, secret knowledge, researching knowledge. So it's like a portal in this direction. It can make you driven to, or giving you new ideas, because Mercury participates as well when it comes to finances, how to make money. So this is also fine. When Mars is still on your ascendant, of course, this is valid until 17th of March. Of course, be a little bit more careful, know how you travel, don't get into risky situations. But luckily, there are planets making good aspects, so I think that you will be fine. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Cancer. Now, for you, first of all, on 6th, 7th of January, the full moon is happening right on your ascendant descendant. Powerful for you. Look at this as an interesting portal, which can help you to enhance your intuition, communication skills. Can be very positive for your relationships. Can give opportunity for communication and future agreements. Let's say you can benefit a lot from this full moon, because it doesn't happen so often in 1 year, you know. So I think this is also very spiritual timing, because the same full moon is happening on your ascendant when conjoined the star Sirius. So very good for achieving something in your plans, something related to visibility of what you're doing, you know, your projects. It can be indeed very good for enhancing your intuition, consciousness, doing spiritual activities like that. Mercury also, your ascendant rule is turning direct after 18th of January. But like I told you in the beginning, I don't see this as major change, due to the fact that Mercury is going through this phases quite fast and all the time. In the meantime, on the 23rd of January, the great change for you will be when Saturn is entering Aquarius. I see this more as a relief for you, because there in Aquarius, he will be bringing changes related to your spirituality, searching for knowledge, maybe travel, changing your perspectives for good. You know, he may bring you a lot of knowledge, changes also in your plans, in your career endeavors, and so. So this will be quite important. And also until 19th of April, Jupiter is on your 10th house. He will keep aspecting harmoniously your ascendant, and will bring peace in your career place. So this is also quite fine. Mars is still turning direct on your 12th house. Well, watch out a little bit for not for that there is no activation of hidden enemies. A bit more be responsible for your health. But in general, I think that you'll be fine. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer, or moon in Cancer, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Leo. Now for you, the Mars turns on the 12th of January retrograde on your 11th house, because this week after his retrograde motion, turning direct. Sorry, I keep saying that he turns retrograde. My apologies to everyone. Becomes direct. So it's always this first week of his of change of his motion is a little bit critical. Be a little bit more careful when you communicate with friends, with the people who surround you, with children. Be a little bit more attentive. When you make financial decisions, be a little bit more careful, because 11th, 5th houses are directly related to gains. Jupiter makes harmonious aspect to your ascendant through the whole month of January, so this is very good for you. And the great change for you, and also relief, comes after the 23rd of January, when Saturn is finally leaving Capricorn, which is your 7th house, and he will enter Aquarius. During his transit in Capricorn, Saturn must have brought important modifications in your romantic life, in your agreements, contracts even, but mainly in your relationship. And now he's moving away. He has done his job, and on the 23rd of January, he's entering Aquarius. And from there, he will be actually bringing changes in the finances of your partner, finances that you receive via partnerships or unexpected sources, money in general. He will be reforming more your finances now. Now, of course, there will be the helping aspect of Jupiter all the time. So this is not a devastating situation, but it is a situation of change for sure. So the full moon is happening on the axis of 12 sixth houses for you. And this is, of course, axis of health. So you may need to be a little bit more responsible for your health, but in general, this can open gates for knowledge related to health, or a bit knowledge related to healing, interesting spiritual experiences. So this also can be something very benevolent for you. So let's see now people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Virgo. Now for you, Mars was considered from the beginning of his motion into Taurus until the end, which is 17th of March. Mars is considered to be a little bit challenging because he's aspecting by square your ascendant, your descendant. So maybe some of you who have a bit more challenging Mars feel annoyed, feel some challenges in their career positions. It is possible, or challenges when it comes to communication with authorities. This is possible. So, excuse me, 7 days after he turns direct, which is 12th of January, be a little bit more careful when it comes to communication with superiors, with institutions. Be a little bit more careful and patient with your relationship. So this is a bit, to watch out for. But Jupiter helps with aspect to Mars. Even Venus and Saturn create harmonious aspect to Mars from your 6th house, meaning there is a help from your routine, from people who work with you, share your routine, and people who you rule, let's say, or who you lead in your work routine environment. So this is actually fine. The full moon on the 6th, 7th of January is taking place for you on your 11th, 5th houses. Very beautiful place, can be a portal, like to bring some gain in a very good sense, like something with related to friendships or children, And also the moon will be, at the moment of the full moon, the moon will be conjoined Sirius, great star, very spiritual, very benevolent, very lucky. And this is happening for you on the axis of the house of the good spirit and the house of the good fortune. So this is very good, actually. So apart from the fact that you may need to watch out a little bit for Mars, communication at your career place, making financial decisions, communication in your romantic life, I think that the month January will be fine for you. And now we are looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Libra. Now for you, Jupiter is still powerful, beautiful, the whole month of January on your descendant, blessing your romantic life, bringing you really peace in your romantic life, opportunity to restore, recover, the peace, because Jupiter is really very, very benevolent in your 7th house, can be very good when it comes to and this is the whole month of January, still can be very good for you if you have, let's say, court situation with agreement, contracts. He can be very, very beneficial for you. Now, Mars for you is on your 9th house. He turns direct on your 9th house. there he around from 12 to I think 19th, the first week of his moving into direct motion status, he's a little bit more tricky, so be a little bit more careful when you travel, when you negotiate. But he can make you very driven to knowledge, and especially after the 12th, if you had certain delay or disharmony related to knowledge, things will start coming, looking better when it comes to knowledge studies and so forth in your plans. So this is also good. The full moon is taking place for you on the axis of 10th, 4th houses. This is your career place. This is good because the moon appears in conjunction with the star Sirius, which is very good. Can be lucky for when you communicate with superiors, what projects related to your career. So this is also very fine, actually. And on the 23rd of January, Saturn enters into Aquarius, 6th house of yours, and he will be bringing you great modifications and changes related to your routine life, to your perception of health. But this is happening towards the end of the month. And now, let's look at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Scorpio. Now, for you, actually, the motion of Mars is important because Mars is ruling your descendant, and he's turning direct on your 12th house. This can be quite important for the finances of your partner. If you had delay or slowed down in financial matters in general, or financial matters that concern partnership or the money of your partner, you can see some movements in a positive direction. But this is after the 12th of January. Also, Jupiter is very, very good also during the entire month of January on your 6th house, bringing you harmony in your routine environment, good health, and so. Venus will be in Capricorn, harmoniously aspecting Mars. She's with Saturn there. And on the 23rd of January, Saturn moves into Aquarius. This is your 5th house already, house of the good fortune. And he will be bringing changes in your in gains, creative knowledge, communication with children, gifts and talents. So he can be benevolent in these areas of your life. The full moon is taking place on the axis of Gemini, Sagittarius. Important axis because the moon will be conjunct Sirius, very important, benevolent, powerful, royal star if you want. And this is star related to great knowledge, to to communication with people abroad. This can be an opening, a portal, lucky. It can be great for your consciousness, for enhancing your intuition. So this will be quite interesting, quite fine. In January, no eclipses will be taking place, but yeah, watch out a little bit when it comes to communication with your partner, be a little bit more patient. And when it comes to finances, things will start moving a little bit faster for you after the 12th, but still, while the ruler of your 7th house is in the 8th, and he will be changing his movement, his motion, you may need to be a little bit more cautious and patient and loving with your partner, and also when it comes to partnership and finances. Now, we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Sagittarius. Now, for you, Mars again, very, very important because he rules your ascendant, he rules you, and also because he is in opposition, in a fallen so-called, I don't agree completely, but so-called position. So he is in Taurus, and until 17th of March, in general, he may give you some small disharmony when it comes to communication with your partner, in general, negotiations, communication in terms of, in general term. Now, on 12th of January, he turns direct. So the first week after the 12th of January can be a little bit more challenging, especially when you negotiate, communicate, do agreements, business-like communication, and also in your romantic life. So you may need to be a little bit more patient. But Jupiter makes harmonious aspect. Even Venus, Saturn make harmonious aspect. So this is very, very helpful. Nothing devastating here. The full moon is taking place on the axis of Sagittarius, Gemini, 8th houses of yours, and the moon it will be conjunct Sirius, very benevolent, very powerful star with royal powers. Such star is Sirius. This can open for you portals of knowledge, true hermetic, deep knowledge because of the nature of the 8th house. Can also give you business opening, like because it's axis of money too. So it can be something very, very interesting. In any case, it's a portal for knowledge, for some change. So it will be very, very interesting. On the 23rd of January, Saturn enters into Aquarius, 4th house of yours, and he will be opening a new page in your life, restructuring your house, things related to property, housing, all this will become very important. He will also be influencing your career place, but this is happening towards the end of the month and will be valid for the next 3 years. Anyhow, for you, of course, the most important transit now is this of Mars. And when you are a little bit more patient, when you're careful, when you're making financial decisions and negotiating, you will be very fine. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Capricorn. Now for you, first of all, the full moon on the 6th, 7th of January is taking place right on your ascendant-descendant axis. And the moon will be conjoined Sirius, beautiful star with royal powers. This can be quite emotional moment, which will determine the next 15 days from 6th, 7th of January, like bringing emotions, energies into your romantic life. You can use these because of the energy of the star Sirius to bring like peaceful energy in your romantic life, in your relationship, in agreements. This can be very good sign for the result of certain negotiations and agreements, let's say. This can be very positive for your spiritual life, your consciousness, for your enhancing your intuition, again, because of the great star Sirius. Now, Mars is turning direct on the 12th of January on your 6th house. Now, this can eventually bring some movement related to people that you share your routine environment with, or that you work with, people that you are out every day with you, also related to health. This can bring movement actually in a positive direction. Like if you have slowed down in these matters, they will start running a little bit better. In addition, Jupiter makes good aspect from your 4th house. He's bringing peace in your house, so this is good. On the 23rd of January, Saturn is entering into Aquarius to stay there for the next 3 years. He will be then reforming your 3rd house of knowledge, communication, travel, communication with brothers and sisters also. He will be very important for your studies and knowledge, and he will be bringing you great beneficial, value there in your 3rd house. But this is happening towards the end of the month. So this was about ascendant Sagittarius. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn, or if you're looking from the perspective of the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aquarius. For you, great change, the greatest possible change will happen on the 23rd of January, because probably you will be relieved after Saturn leaves your ascendant. He was on your ascendant from the 20th of January of 2020. 3 years of very intense, heavy, maybe powerful transit of the heaviest judge, Lord of wisdom, Lord of time, Lord of tears, all that he means, he was on your ascendant to bring you great, great, great changes. Well, relief, he's leaving your ascendant on the 23rd of January, and he will be bringing reformations in your second house. Finances, communication with family members in general. So he will be bringing such important changes for the next 3 years there. Of course, it will be related to your career, certainly your work, occupation, interests, all these. In the meantime, on your fifth house, Mars on the 12th of January is becoming direct. He will be actually positive for the gains. He will be positive for if you have delay in creativity, in the work that you started, talented work, in communication with children. When he turns direct, this will be better for you. Things will start moving a little bit faster. The full moon is taking place on your 12th, 6th houses axis. The moon will be right conjoined the star Sirius, which has royal powers, and the moon will actually be very powerful. She may give good sign when it comes to your routine life, when it comes to health, when it comes to knowledge related to health or administrative things which you have to solve. This can be interesting, very benevolent portal for you. Mainly related to health, mainly related to ways to solve issues and matters with the enemies. So this can be something very, very important. And in January, Venus is right also on your ascendant. Very good for you. A chance to bring peace and luck in your romantic life. And now let's look at people who have sidereal ascendant, Aquarius, or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Pisces. Now Saturn rules you, and on 23rd of January, he enters your ascendant to stay there 3 years. This will be major shift in your life. Shift in your perceptions, communication, communicating with people, abroad. This will be very, very, very important. So it may have impact also on your spirituality, on your desires to know, to study, everything. This will be very, very major. Also on health, because Saturn also rules your 12th house. In the meantime, Mars is turning direct on your 4th house on the 12th of January. The first week after he turns direct, be a little bit cautious when it comes to communication at home with parents, also in your career place, also when you make financial decisions, be a little bit more diplomatic, also with your partners. In addition, the full moon is taking place on the axis of 11th, 5th houses, related to luck, to your social circle. So when the moon will be conjoined Sirius on 6th, 7th of January due to the full moon moment, this will be benevolent for you, like in terms of knowledge, spiritual awareness, creativity. This can be great portal, a great opportunity to restore peace with children, let's say, for good communication with children. Good gains can bring you really knowledge, ideas, perspectives, enhance your creativity. So this can be very interesting position of the moon. So, but anyhow, the most interesting and intense and important transit for you will be after the 23rd of January. And especially, and you will need some time to adjust, because the help of Jupiter comes a little bit later on 19th of April, because on 19th of April, he enters Aries, and from there he will be making harmonious aspect to your ascendant, which will soften a lot the influence of Saturn on your ascendant. So in the beginning, you will need a short moment for adjustment, and after that, you'll be fine. Then we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you're looking from the perspective of the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aries. Now for you, actually, Jupiter during the whole month of January is right on your ascendant. Very good for you. Super powerful Jupiter on your ascendant in Pisces. the Mars turns direct on the 12th of January on the axis of 3rd, 9th houses of yours. So first week after Mars turns direct, be a little bit more careful when you decide to travel, to communicate, to study. Be a little bit more careful, especially the first week after the 12th of January, because, of course, it depends on how your natal Mars is positioned in your horoscope. But of course, this is axis of travel, communication, knowledge, so be a little bit more cautious during the first week. Also, how you communicate with people. The full moon is happening on the axis of Sagittarius, Gemini for you, and the moon will be conjoined the great star Sirius, which is very royal, very spiritual, very, very powerful. And this is interesting axis for you, related to your home. Sirius can be very lucky, can bring you even peace into your home, can be very benevolent and have influence on your career place. So this can be something very lucky. And on the 23rd of January, Saturn is entering your 12th house to bring you very good, actually, very important changes related to health, to enhance your occultistic, esoteric knowledge, if you want, to help you in your spiritual development, to enhance your intuition. He can do major reformations in your 12th house, very much related to your hidden place, to your hidden knowledge, to your spirituality, to knowing about health. He can help you win over enemies. So, of course, he will be bringing reformations related to health, which means that you also may need to be more responsible for your health in the meantime. But anyhow, especially after 19th of April, Jupiter will be making also harmonious aspect from Aries, and this will be very, very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was about the month of January. I wish you all the best. In January, we have no eclipses, so this is also quite fine because they are great, changing factors. We're looking forward to see what Saturn will bring us after he enters Aquarius. I wish you great 2023. And remember, we have the powers to create our reality. This is why you need astrology. When you know the tendencies, you use them, and then you are the author. You're starting the change. So all the best, and see you soon again. Bye-bye.